nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah. Ooh, the chat be popping today. I don't know what it is. Notre Dame football's back and everybody wants to get involved. Look at this chat popping off. And here's the good thing. Welcome in on a Monday. It's Blue and Gold week. I will be seeing a lot of you guys soon in person. Miller Lite for breakfast. You heard it. Here's what I like about this. There are legitimate positions here just in the chat. I've been watching the last 10 minutes, getting ready before the show starts. Just in this chat, there's a lot of opinions here that I think you could say are reasonable, but are totally conflicting about how you see things going, where this program's at, what next year's going to look like, pluses and minuses with this quarterback thing. What are the realities of the offensive line? Like, the good news is when we get through Blue and Gold, we have nothing but hopefully recruiting news heading into August camp. You're going to have all summer to debate all this stuff. And I think you're going to be able to you could make some good arguments that some people are just going to have to say, you present a fair argument, but I disagree with you, and here's why. I think that's where we're heading. But the chat has not popped like this since right after the game, like right after Ohio State and everything. So it's cool to see the engagement. And I mean, it's rare. In my opinion, it's rare to sit here and say, man, I see a lot of these different opinions, and you could probably justify many of them, even though a lot of them are contradicting in nature or total disagreements, but you can make arguments for and against different things. I think it's healthy, but I think it's just going to lead to an uncertain summer period here where we're all trying to figure out the realities of this, and it's just going to be all in your mind. I don't know. And then August is going to hit and boom, you got about a week and a half, 2 weeks, figure everything out. You got to name a starter, everybody rally around, start gelling around that guy, whatever. The O-line, we've all been saying the O-line's going to be solid. It's going to be a key part of all this. We love it. Well, now you got an injury thing. I think people are underestimating that injury. And when you read on the tweet, oh, Gerby, whatever, and be back in the fall. Goolsby had that surgery, the same surgery, and said he couldn't lift a weight for 6 months. Do the math. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. What? Goolsby had that exact surgery and says, I couldn't even lift a weight for 6 months. So I think I don't think everybody fully sunk in what that means. He'll be back in the fall. That doesn't mean he'll be back the first week of August in camp ready to go. But 6 months before he could pick up a weight. So everybody's body's different, whatever. But that's not a good start to what we all want that O-line to be like, to go to Miami and push them around and take pressure off the new quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Callers, I'm coming to you. Let's get through the introduction. There's a lot on the line. The phone line is one of the things on the line. 312-988-15. Scrimmage reports. I struggle with it, you guys. I really struggle with this. You have very limited access. So from the legacy media guys that are in there, whatever, you have very limited access. Okay. And then what you do see is kind of limited. And then everybody reports on it. But it's like, I don't know whether that is just a tiny look into a way bigger picture, but all we're getting is the tiny look. And is it fair or right to take that tiny look and extrapolate it into something bigger. Is that fair or not? I don't know, but that's what the fan base is going to do because it's all the information you got. And when you don't have that information, you run with the information you do have. And it's not a shot at our media beat or anything. They want more information. It's just it's limited what this team could do this spring. It's limited what you're going to see. And then all of us are left to decipher how much you're going to read into it all. And I don't have the answers to that. And again, I'm not blaming the media. They're doing the best they can to put out the information. And I also don't blame the fans for running with it. It's all you got. It's all you got is whatever they let people see. And then I just don't know. I just don't know whether to take it all with a grain of salt till August because this is all messed up because everybody's injured, or if you run with it as facts and you feel like the quarterback thing's moving along towards a conclusion sooner than maybe you thought. I don't know. I don't know. As always, thanks for being here. It's good to start off on a Monday with all you fine people. Notre Dame football plays this weekend, baby. And I got bad news. Somebody asked a question in the chat that my answer may offend. My honest answer, one of these questions I highlighted, the answer may offend some of the people here, but I'm going to explain it as much as I can. But one of these answers, it may offend some of you always Irish people. And I got to be on. I'm always honest with you, so I got to tell you what's going on. Dodger, what's going on, baby? As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on. You don't miss nothing. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. I got to tell you guys, man. Maybe it's just my feed, but Twitter is a nightmare. Twitter is a nightmare, man. It is nothing but arguing politics, inappropriate videos. I swear to you guys, I've never typed in from my Twitter account on the algorithm, but I'm getting naked stuff all over. I didn't ask for, not even my type, a lot of it. I didn't even ask for, and that's on there now. All over Twitter, all the political stuff, all the ugliness. I swear this whole system is propped up to push division and negativity to the masses. You don't even have to look. You don't even have to look for this stuff. It just shows up. I don't know how I need to reset my feed or what I can do to get different stuff. Man, it's rough. I long for the days where I could just argue about football on there and just see that. It's a lot healthier of a debate to just argue about football. Man, it's rough out there in the Twitter streets. Email's always irishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You could get a call-in lines. 312-900-8815. Dialed up till Yanni, all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Patreon.com/Always Irish. We did a 2-hour live show last night on Patreon. Jack Sullivan, the guy behind the ND Recruiting 01 account, I think he's got 37,000 followers, dives into the recruiting, and we had him on to go over what's going on with the recruiting, any changes with the new regime in terms of recruiting, some of the things. One thing's clear, you guys. Very much more of a business-like professional approach in the Notre Dame recruiting office from Jack and his information and all that. That's one thing when you ask what's changed in the new regime. It is way more. This is a serious program. Let's talk business. And some people may not like the way that comes off, but it is the modern world. And this regime understands you got to get ahead of this. And you're having business discussions when you have these recruits come into town or whatever. And it's a more serious operation. So I don't know. Josh Miller says they just did a study on this. It's all about division. I swear it's just the things I don't look for, but they get put in front of me are made to spark you one way or the other. I just think it's unhealthy. And what I think about is I'm a 40-year-old navigating this stuff, seen a lot of life, been through some things. It would be really hard for a teenager to navigate social media these days with all this stuff. So it's just, Whatever, man. It's toxic. You just got to slide by. Keep it moving. So I don't know, you guys. So I want to know your scrimmage reports, the QB race. Do you feel like it's narrowing down, recruiting picking up? I see some debate whether that's a reality or not. What you want to watch and see in the blue and gold game. I think you're going to be disappointed. I'm serious. I don't think this blue and gold game, I guarantee the staff hates it. And it's like, whatever, we got to do this in front of the people, but we don't really want to do much or show anything. And half of our guys, it looks like a Civil War medical tent, bro. So I don't think you're going to get a lot of answers. I don't think it's going to be as fulfilling as you want. And if it was, I would love it. If one of those quarterbacks just couldn't miss and was just making throws or whatever, and you feel like they're a clear leader heading into summer, I think that may be the best outcome. I'm not sure you're going to get it. I just think things might be too limited. I don't know. So I don't know what you expect to see in blue and gold. It would be nice if a quarterback separated themselves. I don't know if that could be a possibility or not, or how they're going to set it up. Really also interesting. They don't even have enough bodies to be able to do the you pick a team, I pick a team. It's just O versus D. Andrew's saying, I think one of the QBs is leaving post spring game. Goolsby's been saying for months on Twitter, all respect to Angeli, but the best thing for the program would probably be for him to go somewhere else. And like Goolsby's like, I love Steve. He's a Notre Dame guy or whatever. I'm just looking at the quarterback dynamic down the road. And he's like, I think that would clear the deck and then force everybody to invest in the young stuff and grow from there in the next iteration of what Freeman Air is going to become in the middle part of his tenure. Mark saying one guy's leaving but before April 25th. You would like to think, regardless of what we think and how much we see, you would like to think maybe after spring, these guys will have some idea of where maybe not the starter, but the 1 and the 2. And then where does that leave the 3? Like if it gets narrowed down, because you just can't do the 3 thing well into August and whatever. When it's just, there's a time limit on this. Yeah, the game's for the fans, the coaches hate it. Right. And so they're cobbling it together the best they can with the physical limitations that the program has. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. I don't know. Sorry, but Goolsby also said Buckner was future. I don't really take his QB takes that seriously. Whatever, man. Like, he was the captain in Notre Dame. I wasn't. So, like, on certain personnel things, I do weigh what he says more than, like, a regular fan or whatever. But that doesn't mean that everybody's right on everything. When you do this kind of thing, you got to put yourself out there. And sometimes you're right and you get the credit. And sometimes you're wrong and you take a shot. That's the way this business goes. Callers, I'm coming to you. Let me get through a couple of these chats, and then we'll get into this. Also, where are my Ohio State people in this chat? We usually get a couple of them. I want to know if anybody has. Any insight into all that drama with the Ohio State podcaster and beat guy, allegedly taking money from Caleb Downs and all this stuff on a deal for a podcast or whatever, and then kept the money. I just think it's very interesting with all that happening in a world that I'm from, with the podcasting and the writing and a guy making a deal. And then I don't know. Anybody want to fill me in? Feel free. So I don't know what the deal is. With that. So, and a reminder for the schedule here before we get into it. Friday night, Always Irish Crew, we're going to hit the town a little bit. Nothing crazy, but we'll hit a couple spots on Eddy Street or something, hang out. Saturday morning, tailgate. And then afterwards, go to the Linebacker Lounge, and Goolsby and I are going to do a live post-game show from there. So let's do a couple of these chats, and then we'll go right to the calls. If I don't do the chats from before the show now, I'll never get to them. Never. There's Commander. Everybody's mad we didn't have any commits. Then we get a commit. Now it's not good enough. Story of my Notre Dame life, man. The bar always changes. Any chance we could stop calling these guys outside the top 20 elite? Now, I will say this in his defense. I'll say this. What I have a problem with is every time any team gets a verbal commitment, people on Twitter write huge or like big get or like huge is the thing a lot of people quote tweet with like an arrow to the commitment, huge or whatever. Sometime I just want to see an account be like, this kid verbally committed to this school and he's just average and not that good, but he committed to this school. Like, I'm sorry. It always bothers me, like how charitable it is. And maybe it should be because they're just kids and they're excited and maybe they turn into something. I get it. But the jaded part of me, every recruit that signs with every school can't be huge or a difference maker or whatever, or a big get. That's mathematically impossible. But I've never seen anything where an account says, this guy committed to this school I cover and he's just not that good, but he committed. I just want the truth sometimes. And I'm not saying that's the case with any of the guys we're getting. I'm just saying overall, I would appreciate once in a while if they were like, this kid committed and he's an average player. Like he's going to ride the bench. Every guy can't be a huge pickup. It's mathematically impossible. Mark, Thursday, the on-3 number 7 overall player, Dunham, is announcing if ND gets him, the recruiting momentum will be undeniable. We looked at his film yesterday. Last night, we looked at his film. And just a really, really advanced player. So if you combine that with the commitment you already get from Ebenezer, not the geezer, it's hard to say you didn't have a good week along the D line. Like, I don't know what else people want. And then there's the whole thing of my thing of, you could go ahead and get these verbal commitments. Let me know when they stick. Like, I'm sorry, I already did my thing on this. Verbal commitment, great. You're the leader in the clubhouse. I don't count it. We've been burned too many times. So collect all of these verbals you want till you sign. I'm not getting excited. I've been burned too many times. Too many times I expressed my anxiety about this and was told, don't worry about it. It's fine. These guys are sticking. They want to be here. Deuce's relationship with Freeman's different. Like, I'm done. Let me know when people sign. Sorry. Ebenezer's the 36th best player on 3 rankings. If we had Dunham, that'll be 2 elite defensive linemen, which is what we always complain about. This could be the Al Washington Renaissance. I'm just telling you, man, like, that's a pretty good job. Mark, here we go. I'm going to make you mad. Would you rather be at the Masters on Saturday or ND Stadium with your people? The Masters. The Masters. I've been to 25 blue and gold games. I've never been to Augusta, and it is on my bucket list as used to be a very regular competitive golfer. Kind of had to tone that down to get this business run in the last few years. Would love to get back into it. The Masters. I love all you guys, and I love, whatever. But I've done tailgates before. I've done the blue and gold game 25 years, and this one isn't going to offer you that much anyways, I don't think. I would have to say Augusta because it's on my bucket list, and you never know if you could get back there again. There's going to be a blue and gold game or a chance to tailgate a million times in my life. You never know if you're going to get a chance to go to Augusta again. So especially moving day at Augusta on a Saturday, historically speaking, it's on my bucket list. I have to go with that. And it's nothing against you guys. I love you guys. But I've done this before, and there will be chances to do it again. If you get a last-minute ticket to Augusta, you better take it because you don't know if you're getting back in there again. And as a golf guy growing up, like, the Masters is a big deal to me. There's not a huge football golf overlap, but for me, that's a big deal. So I'm not trying to be negative on my people. I love you guys, but we'll have plenty of chances to do this. Am I the only one concerned with what seems to be a lot of lingering injuries and now starting to see new ones? Take the summer and get healthy. I don't want to do this again. Take the summer and get as healthy as you can. I don't want to deal with this again. But it's rough because as fans, you want to wipe the slate clean and be like, 25, new year, let's go, new year. In our minds, you could make that work. Physically, you can't make guys recover or whatever faster than they can recover or whatever. So it leaves you in a weird spot. Andrew, the O-line situation's concerning. If the O-line isn't where it needs to be for Miami, I can see them going with Angeli because they value his experience. Could you not argue the other way that if you're going to have a shoddy O-line, you need a guy that can move back there? Like, couldn't you make that logical argument in reverse and be like, if you're not sure we could block, we need a guy that can move around to make things happen so you don't have a statue back there. And here's the other thing. If there's one knock on Angeli in the limited action we've seen him and whatever, it's I don't think he does a really good job of feeling pressure. And every time he's in there, even in limited action, you're waiting for a strip sack from behind because it doesn't feel like he feels the pressure the way you need to. That's not a good dynamic for Miami. You could have all the experience in your world and you're holding the ball, getting strip sacked. What does that do me? So I could make the flip argument and go, you need a guy that can move around if you're worried you're not going to block things up. What a mess I don't even want to think about. Kids can't wait for that. Johnny does it for the kids. Miller Lite for breakfast and a Capri Sun for the youths. Perhaps some orange slices. But for everybody else, Miller Lights for breakfast. Favorite White Sox vendor of all time. My whole childhood, you hear that guy echoing through the stadium. He said Miller Lights nonstop. The entire game, the guy walked up and down those aisles saying Miller Lights. It was amazing. God bless his voice and rest in peace to him because I think he passed away. Probably of an esophageal problem. Sid, if we want to move forward, why Steve even being considered? I don't know. He's been around. And here's the other thing. When you're asking about the Steve thing or whatever, why is he even being considered? A few short days ago, people were texting me and saying that certain people are saying it looks like it's going to be Angeli and that he's the leader. And as of right now, it's going to be Steve. And then what? They do a magical practice Saturday and everybody's opinions change because of that one viewing session? Do you see why I'm struggling to figure out the realities of the situation? That was all over Twitter and a thing. And it's like, oh, if you listen to this guy, they're saying right now it would be Angeli and he's hard to beat. And then 2 days later, they have a two-hand touch, red jersey practice or whatever, where everything's limited and you can't do this and that and whatever. And then now it's all changed. What is the truth? The truth will set you free, but I got to know what it is. I don't know, man. $20 from Christopher. Thanks a lot, my man. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Rodney, it's been a while, man. $5 holler. So sad I won't be able to attend BG. Take a shot of Irish whiskey with the entourage. You know I will do it. You know I will do it. And so you hope Gerby's okay. He's going to be okay. It's just going to take a lot of time. It's just going to take a lot of time. Like, he's going to be okay. They're not replacing his heart or nothing. It's just people underestimated. Tickets are like $13. People underestimated that tweet that said he'll be back in the fall. The fall's a long time, people. The fall's a long time. Coming back in late October when you have a front-heavy schedule is not my idea of being back for the fall. Come on. Are they selling beer in the stadium? I don't think that's on the menu. I don't know, man. You can I just struggle with the concept. Here's how I'm going to put it. I struggle with the concept that each time we get another miniature glimpse into practice or whatever, the whole narrative changes. These are all snapshots of a bigger puzzle and little windows into a little piece of a way bigger puzzle that we don't have all the spots for. Yeah, preferred seating's $45. What does that mean? What's preferred seating? Is that one of the seat backs, the blue set, like where you in the first few rows? That's got to be what that means, right? I like being able to spread out and have myself my own always Irish section, baby. That's what I like. Sid says we're better off not knowing. Whatever, man. Whatever. We all want information, and it just doesn't feel like you're going to get what you want. No beer in the stadium, but lots of beer in the parking lot by the Frank Leahy statue. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Why can't a working man down some ice cold brewski and enjoy a Saturday? You can at the tailgate in the parking lot. We're going to be there. Oh, man, the cushion blue seats. The only way you should pay for that is if you physically can't walk. Otherwise, come on, man, $45 for a fancy seat. Like if you have trouble getting around or you have a back injury, fine. But other than that, sit up there by the top and you have a good view. I don't know. So I don't know what to make of all this, you guys. And here's the other thing I'm learning over time, and then we'll go to the calls. The other thing I'm learning over time is the more blue and gold cycles and games I see, the more jaded I become about running with any narrative that I see from them and then making it a fact all through the summer going into August. I want to sit on the 50, John. Is that crazy? You could sit on the 50 and pay $13. Go in the 5th row instead of the 4th row. Well, maybe I'm just a cheapskate. You can sit on the 50 all you want. You have to be on the field? It's like the first 5 or 6 rows of those blue seats. You could pay $13 and sit one row behind it. You just don't have a seat back. So I don't know. I mean, you can maybe I'm being a cheapskate here. I don't know, man. So whatever. I'm not drinking alcohol, then stop it for 2 hours to watch a game. Seems like a headache. It is sometimes, I admit, Commander. Some of these blue and gold tailgates have been so much fun. I do admit sometimes it's like, oh man, we got to go. It's like, oh man, we got to go in this game. And you're like, I know, I've been there before. Sometimes the tailgate's a lot of fun. And I've been like, oh man, it's time to go in here. We're having a good time in this parking lot. Adam Dowling, none of this matters. Half the guys aren't going to play much. Whatever. Chief, I really do think it's 6 rows. I don't even think it goes 10 rows deep. And so, if you want to be a cheapskate and sit on the 50, you could just pay $13 and get there right when the gates open and sit right behind. Whatever, man. But if you want to get in those first couple rows, do it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, you guys. So I don't know what you're going to get out of blue and gold. I don't know what your expectations are. I don't know. I just don't think we're going to get all of the answers that we want. Did they tarp off the top? I don't think so. Maybe they block off some sections, but I've been able to go pretty high before. I think, you know what it is? I think they don't let you go to the newer part of the top of the bowl. That's what I think I remember. I'm pretty sure they have ushers up there, and then they don't let you go to the top newer section of the bowl. And there's really no need to. There's 12 or 15,000 people there. Everybody can spread out and do whatever you want. And so, but I'm pretty sure the top bowl's off limits, but it doesn't matter. You could space out as much as you want and sit anywhere you want. So get whatever view you want. Rodney, it's been a while. What's going on, man?
John.
Rodney, what's up?
Dude, it's been too long, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. I'm excited to get back to campus. I'm excited to, it's kind of low stress Notre Dame football. You get to see the guys run around, whoever's available. But Rodney, I'm struggling to make heads or tails of this spring and what's going on with everything. And I don't know what's real and what is just perceived and what information we're going off of is limited. Are we running too much with it? I don't know what to think, Rod. It's a weird cycle this spring.
Well, I think this is going to be the new normal for spring, man. I don't think like you said, I don't think coaches like it whole much. To be honest with you, man, I don't even know that because when I think about it, man, a lot of the things we see in spring that we think we're going to see in fall, we don't. You know what I mean? The spring can be so misleading anyway. There's been times I've seen a guy pop in the spring. I'm like, oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing that guy, come fall. And then that guy gets passed up by 3 other guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I just miss the fact I can't be there. I got the Into the Woods this weekend in Indianapolis. Anybody's in the area, I played the Big Bad Wolf for sold out. Got a great review last night. Anyway, that's right. But and I do it too, man. There's a howl. But that's why I can't go, John, because of that. And we have like 2 shows on Saturday, Friday night. So I was going to say, maybe if there's. And then I found out we had a matinee on Sunday or on Saturday too. Going back a few weeks, and I'm like, I can't even go in the morning. So, and let me ask you this, John. Does it make any sense that we just had this long season that went way deeper than it's ever gone before in college football history, and then spring ball is 2 weeks earlier? The game is 2 weeks earlier than it usually. Does that make any sense?
My understanding is just the calendar. There's a lot going on. You had to consider that transfer portal date. You have the holiday. You have the holiday the next week. You obviously aren't going to do this on Easter weekend. I think they want to avoid that. And then I even saw.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
And then I even see that there's like a mini half marathon Saturday morning or whatever. So there's
of course there is.
Yeah. So I just think there's a lot going on this time of the year, and then they're trying to Andrew Gilmore said, "I wish I could join, but John, I'll be in Puerto Rico." Andrew, it's a coincidence.
Yeah, I think a lot of us probably.
Every time I do something, Andrew's out of the country. What a coincidence. He's the number one guy people want to meet that they've heard for years and have no idea what he's like. And I've never met him either. And every time I say I'm going to have an event, Andrew's traveling the world 7 seas. What is this, Andrew?
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's like where's Dr. John? Is he in Ireland this weekend with his daughters or his women? I mean, is he going to be there? I mean, it's like all these people that, and that's also hilarious to me too, John. Think about all I was at the last one and and I seen you, but remember that one spring game? I come into town. It's like I'm pulling in late. I got the bad car problems. I'm getting in. Hey, John, where are you? Oh, we're on the road back home this weekend. You're like, oh, we're going to be here Friday night in the game. We got some stuff with the linebacker in. It's like, I like the fact that this has become kind of a whole weekend thing. So I guess that's maybe more of what's to come in the future.
Yeah, dude, you know what I figure, anyway, Rodney? What I figure is, here's the way I look at it is when we get by blue and gold, it is the wilderness death zone of college football until August. There's nothing happening between those summer months are long for an Irish fan's mind. And there's nothing but recruiting. Like there's not a lot of opportunities. So I figured the last big go around till August, we do it big, come in the weekend, go out Friday, do the whole thing. So I'm trying to get more bang for the buck. If I'm going to be in town, let's do it big and go for it. And then we have all summer to relax till August. That's kind of my new way of thinking.
Well, you mentioned something, and we'll get to football here in a second, but you mentioned something, I don't know, months ago about, hey, maybe doing something in the summer. Dude, I turned 50 this year, buddy. June 30th, everyone. So I don't know, just throwing that out there. Man. I'm going to New England for like 12 days from like the 16th to the 28th, but after that, I'm game. Anyway. So, I'll miss you guys. I really will, man. I'm so mad I can't be there. But anyway, as far as football, specifics, it's going to be hard, man, because of this whole new format and everything. I don't think you're going to get much.
Yeah,
I just don't think you're going to get much, man.
You know what else, too? I already thought you weren't going to get much. They're not even doing where you have like select teams. They don't even have enough guys to divide up 2 sets of offense defense. So they're listen. If anybody was wondering why a part of the reason some of these schools are thinking about doing away with this, I think Notre Dame could make an argument for it. Like Notre Dame, like with the longest season in history, the most games ever, the latest you played into a calendar year going into the new year, and then you have all these injuries. So it's just like maybe this is something that you got to think about, but they're going to do it. I just don't know what information you're going to get.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, a couple of things I wanted to touch on, John, that has been going. This is like a few weeks coming because I haven't had a chance to call in because of whatever reason. Usually it's Mondays, and I just haven't had a chance the last couple of Mondays. Goolsby said something, and once again, I'm going to miss seeing him. So that's like, one more time here. But anyway, I want to respond to something he said that I'm not, upset that he said it. I totally understand where he's coming from, but you pushed back a little bit, and I agreed with you on this. When he was talking about that, once the Notre Dame players go into the draft, it's like we stop caring. It's like, dude, you got to understand something. You guys, and him specifically, he was a Notre Dame player. It makes sense that he has that in his blood. Yes, we're fans and we love it and then we're obsessed with it, but his obsession's on another level. You know what I'm saying? It's like they already get all of our attention anyway when they're there. What are we supposed to do? Just keep following them, on and on and on? I mean, of course, there's going to be some interest there, but I just thought your pushback on that was very appropriate. I'm like, it's not that we don't care anymore. It's just that we got our lives too. You know what I mean? It's like, there's only so much time you can devote to all that. So
that's true. I'm Rodney.
I love Riley Leonard, dude. I love that guy. I love him, man. He's so good for the program, and he did so well this year, and I was so happy for him, and and all that. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do from here on out, whether he makes it as a pro or whatever. He's just a good guy. I like him.
Yeah.
But dude, it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. I tried to be very, very open with Mike about, like, as a former player and a guy that transitioned, from Notre Dame and then tried the NFL life. I needed him to understand some of this is just selfish. Like, I'm all about Notre Dame. I want our guys to do good in the NFL, but it's not something I'm checking up on as a priority. Like, I am honest about my selfishness, that it's like, what are you doing for me at Notre Dame is the number one thing. Hearing, like, in the league, Rodney, when we get in the NFL season, there's these accounts, even Notre Dame's football Twitter account posts ND players in the NFL and highlights the best performances of the weekend from our guys in the NFL. I think that's a great thing to do. It just doesn't move the needle much for the fans that are so worried about Notre Dame football. And it's selfish, and it kind of sounds like you're using those guys. Like, I only care about you when you're playing for us. But, like, I'm open about why that is. Like, I love Notre Dame. I don't care about all those other teams in the NFL. I care about Notre Dame.
Well, I mean, and John, think about this too. I think about all the other aspects of life, the people that get overlooked in their life, that, like, you know what I mean? That run the grind every day and never get any attention at anything they do. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to cry tears because he didn't get a little part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, God bless him. I had nothing bad. Anyway, I just want to push back a little bit, but I get why. I mean, Goolsby's, it's in his blood more than it is even you. And then that's saying something because you're, anyway, God bless you. And God bless him. But I'm just saying. The other thing, McElroy made that comment about Steve Angeli, the Joe Burrow comment.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really, really interesting, man, because, okay, again, that comparison, that's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Someone that, came, I think he was a 3-star, wasn't he, or something? And then he transferred, from Florida or something? Or I don't remember where it was, to LSU.
Wasn't it Ohio State?
Tremendous.
Wasn't it Ohio State?
Maybe it was. Sorry, maybe it was Ohio. I don't remember. Yeah, maybe it was Ohio State. I was thinking Urban Meyer. I think that's why I said Florida. But yeah, but when Urban Meyer was at Ohio State, obviously. Okay. But I at least see a little bit of that. I've said this all along, man. There's something about Angeli. I don't know. It just seems like when he's in the game, good things happen. And everybody seems to play a little bit better when he's in the game. And, you just get a feeling about someone. He doesn't have all the tangibles, but he's got a lot. It seems like he has a lot of the intangibles. Do we have a large enough sample size to make that a definitive, point? No, but I could see him having one of those, in that realm of a season, maybe not to that degree, of course. But you also said something, John, that I wanted to push back on. You said, but then he had these 1,800-yard receivers and that year he did. But going into that year, that wasn't what they had. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't become that receiver. I'm not saying they didn't have that talent going into it, of course. But, like, those receivers, You were using statistics of that year. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm just pushing back a little bit on that, but I could see him have a season like that. Here's the good news, though, and I'll leave you at this, John. Don't you feel so much better this year if a guy gets hurt, if one of the quarterbacks don't, they're not playing well? I'm not feeling so bad about the second and third string guy coming in there to relieve him.
All right, now let me ask you this: if you did the Angeli route or whatever, I want to know what happens with the other guys. A lot of people are thinking at least one of these guys is going to leave. And if it's the older guy that gets the nod, Angeli, does one of the younger guys say, I'm dipping out of here? Or there's a lot to consider there as well. And I don't know. I don't know the realities of this, Rodney, but I got to believe this staff has way more information than we do. And they're way further down the road of figuring this out than the fan base. I think that's the number one thing I want fans to think about is our uncertainty. We need to understand the staff is way further down the road than we are on all this stuff. And we just don't know. So I'm open to that.
I could be, of course. And of course, I don't know what I'm talking about on my, you know what, but I got this weird feeling no one's going to transfer. I'm talking of the quarterbacks. I got this weird feeling that they're all going to stay. And, maybe it's just because it happens so often now where someone gets hurt, you're just a play away. I mean, we saw what happened with Buckner. And, especially if it's Angeli, you got two young guys that have plenty of eligibility and plenty of time to pop, So if it's Carr, I think Angeli's going to stay no matter what. If it's Carr, I could see Minshew leaving just because he's above him in the class, maybe. And so, but again, that something could happen to Carr. So I don't know. For some weird reason, I think they're all going to stay, at least for a year. I don't know if that's going to be the case next year when we come in, does Angeli have more than one? He's got another year of eligibility past this year, right?
I'm sure.
Or is this last one?
I think he does, but I don't remember now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, that could change things based on that. But.
Now some people are saying if it's Angeli, you could end up losing both of those guys. Man, I'm telling you what, that is trouble.
I don't think so.
Dude, that would be trouble because you would go with the older guy this year that has a cap physical ceiling of what I think he could be. And then you would be losing the guys that have more physical upside. And then where does that leave you? This is all got to be a part of the equation.
Either way, though, man, I could see, we'll see how this all shakes up. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if one of the other guys gets to start, like a CJ Carr, but then, at some point gets hurt and then Angeli comes in and he then wins over the job for the rest of the year. I could see that happen too. But the bottom line is I am feeling with Riley Leonard, you feel like, okay, yeah, Angeli's probably a good backup to come in for Riley Leonard last year. But really, that was still kind of, that can't happen, right? I don't feel that way this year. I feel like if one of them gets hurt, you feel like you got a pretty damn good quarterback to come in, and you don't feel like the ceiling's gonna, the sky's falling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is a big decision. It's gonna shape what the middle part of the Freeman era is gonna start looking like. It's a big decision. You got to just trust they have more information than we do, and they're gonna put the team in the best position to win. But it is gonna be the talk of the summer, and we're all gonna think about it. Rodney, good luck with the play, my friend. Thanks for touching base, and we will miss you, and we'll have a beer for you.
Oh, for sure, man. Hey, lastly, too, just one last thing. Yeah, you're right, John. I'm not getting high up on these recruits, man. Let's wait till signing day.
Can't do it.
I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear he gave us a verbal. That's nice. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Goodbye, John. Have a good one, buddy.
Have a great
time this weekend.
Oh, man. Crystal clear phone line by Rodney. Sometimes that's been an issue. I like it. I'm going to do when it comes to getting overexcited about these verbal commitments, I'm Mike Singletary. Can't do it. I just can't do it anymore, man. I can't do it anymore. I've been burned too many times, man. Dial up the Singletary. Can't do it. Can't play with him. I can't do it. Man, I'm getting old. That reference is top of mind to me when Singletary went off. Can't do it. Can't play with him. Can't win with him. Can't do it. It's more likely two guys transfer than zero. That's risky. What do you do if you did Angeli and the two younger guys leave? Think about what that does for everything, man. You really got to be careful about what you do here. I don't know, man. It is whatever. I don't know. It's also amazing how much power the legacy guys have. They do get to see. We talked about this last night too. The guys that are in there that get to see the whatever, put out the clips, man, it is wild because they have a lot of power because you're able to set the narrative because it's not reacting to a game on TV that we all see. Right? It's about the perception of what you see of how much you get to see through the eyes of the guys that saw it. That's why the off-season stuff's so much more wild, because it's not what is your reaction to the game we all saw. You're only getting bits and pieces of the information. I don't know, man. It's tough. 415, good morning, and 574 coming up, couple 574s. What's up, 415, California boy?
Good morning, Johnny. How we doing today, bud?
I'm doing good. Dude, I actually had a dream about California the other night. I dreamed that I was remaking the Dr. Dre and Tupac California Love video, but it was always Irish themed. And it was... Dude, the shit that goes through my brain, I cannot explain. But do you remember that video? They were driving through the desert and it was like a battle scene, and they were driving through the desert in those like 4x4, and they were driving over the sand dunes and stuff. And for some reason, I was all dressed up and we were driving and we were remaking the video, and the lyrics were like always Irish, like themed. And then I woke up, man. It was
Johnny,
bro. It was seriously Roger Troutman, like the sound, but it was always Irish, knows how to party. And we were going through the dunes.
You got to make the video.
Oh,
to make that video, I have it imprinted in my brain. I remember that very well because it was like the Mad Max scene.
Yeah,
like trying to reincarnate that.
Dude, that's no offense to you, that's the most California I want in my life. But like, it was hilarious, man. It was in the city of South Bend, and we were driving through the dunes. Yeah. We had ladies.
All about it.
Yeah, we had the ladies, and they were dressed in Notre Dame gear. We were all cruising with our entourage. Something else here. Anthony says, this is a good one. Anthony says, I've thought about this too. I could see Johnny hitting the switches on a lowrider. I told Mark with glasses this the other day. If I ever had a magic benefactor of like a rich Notre Dame fan that loved my show and had money to blow, and they were like, John, I would like to just give you some money to play with for your business to keep Always Irish going, I would literally get a green lowrider, hit the switches, come in the parking lot on 3 wheels. Like, I would literally make a promo Always Irish lowrider, and I would literally come in that parking lot on 3 wheels, and I seriously would make it a priority getting an Always Irish promotional lowrider. All right, those are my dreams. What are yours?
Johnny boy, you caught me way off guard. I was thinking Joe Burrow and telling like all these different things. But I'll tell you, we could definitely, let me side table that one.
Okay.
Let me side table. But now that let me say this. Now that you put that one out there,
yeah,
I got to see it. I got to see the video. I mean, we could make this happen.
Oh, listen, if anybody's going to make it happen, it's going to be Mark with glasses, because he does my little funny promo videos because he's so good at it, and he always knows my vision.
Perfect.
But like, it was just
Perfect.
wild to me that I was thinking about promotional ideas and what I could do to branch out. It was in my mind. But I remember waking up with that dream like, yeah, that was awesome, man. I was mad it was a dream.
That is so good. Oh, my God. That's fantastic. I think we should just end the show right there. That might be it.
Man.
That is as a high note as you get. Man, that is fantastic.
Yeah, dude. I think I also looked on YouTube, and on YouTube Shorts, there was like one of those lowrider contests in California where it's like it's a cultural thing, and they all have like a meet where they're all doing their hydraulics and everything all over. And I think it was all in my head, but I'm dead serious about the lowrider promotional vehicle. If anybody wants to donate some cash on their deathbed, I'll get that done and spin in there on 3 wheels.
I'll tell you what, John, I think you could get away with it. I think you, like, personally, like, going down there, like down to, LA or something, you go down to Crenshaw and you bust out like the always Irish lowrider. I think you could actually get away with it.
Yeah, John on Crenshaw Boulevard. That sounds like a good fit. I think I'll fit right in.
That's so good. Oh, buddy.
The whole thing makes no sense because
it makes no sense. It makes perfect sense.
Look at where we're at. I am a dork white dude in my basement yelling about Notre Dame football, but my whole persona is sea walking and this chain and all this, like, it just, but for some weird way it works just because of my weird personality. Like, it just works. Like, nobody looks at me sideways when I wear that chain, like, because it just fits my weird personality. For some reason it works. I don't know, but we're going with it. We're going with it.
Johnny, you got fans flying out to South Bend to meet you at games to bring you a chain.
Ooh,
I mean, put it that way.
Man, I'm telling you what, man. It's a whole thing, and it's too far to not keep going now. But it is before I die, it's a dream to get a lowrider in the stadium lot and turn in on 3 wheels. So we'll just document that. Okay, any thoughts about Notre Dame football?
Let me try to redirect. Let me see.
Oh God.
Holy smokes. Okay. As far as recruiting goes, I'm totally with you 100%. It doesn't matter to me. These commitments, these verbal commitments, it does not matter. And that's actually a defense mechanism for myself because of the burn that you get every once in a while, if not on a regular, where guys are flip-flopping all over to different schools. So as far as I go, hey, great. If it's somebody that turns out to be a stud, wonderful. But until they're actually completely committed, ink's dry, they're on the team and they're moving and grooving.
Yep.
It's just one of those ones where it's a new landscape and everything's different.
You got it. It's a battle. I had to adjust. Dude, you can only get burned so many times. And I don't want to sound like the old bitter guy, like I liked it better in my day. Like I don't, but we've been burned so many times from this. You must, to be a responsible fan, you must take the verbal commitment as leader in the clubhouse, but be open to that changing. You must look at it that way because the whole world's changed, man.
Yes. And again, remember, these are young kids. Now, if we're talking about recruits, they are 16, 17, maybe 18 years old. And so it's very quickly can turn on a dime if you have another school say, hey, why are you going out there? We'll give you $1 million or we'll give you 500,000 or whatever it is out of the NIL to come to this school. And then they're just sitting there thinking, oh, okay. And they are impulsive and then they're going to make their decisions.
Yeah.
And not every kid is going to do that, but enough will where it makes you have to sit there and say as a fan on our end, okay, well, let's just back up and wait because it's not the same as it was, 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it is. And now here's something that I I kind of learned last night. It was questions I had. We did a Patreon live with Jack Sullivan, who does the ND Recruiting 01 account, which is a big account on Twitter. And he follows this stuff very, very detailed and sourced. One of the things he said, because one of my questions for him was, are you seeing any tangible changes between the way the new regime is building out the recruiting operation and going about it compared to Chad and his crew? And Jack said they're talking business early and they're getting it out of the way and they're not beating around the bush and they are realizing this is the key, you guys. they are realizing you're going to have to start ponying up real money for incoming freshmen to have a chance to be able to land these better guys. And that is something that Notre Dame was a little reticent to do when NIL started becoming legal and becoming a thing. They wanted you to get in school, prove you're a good player and a good kid. Then the deals come. Notre Dame's realizing you got to talk business early to land these better guys. And they're starting to do it while within our value structure, but realizing that's where the sport's going. And they're being way more business-like about it, like a serious program. And we're going to see if that pays dividends or not. But I'm open to at least hearing they're trying a different angle on this.
No doubt. And they need to, because that's what it is nowadays. And I think the hardest thing for the older fan base, to understand and kind of, accept on the same level is the fact that these contracts and these players that are getting paid now are getting paid for what they could do in the future, as opposed to what they've already done. So it's looking at potential. So we're paying for you for your potential of coming into the program and making an impact.
Yeah.
And you might be making a huge splash. And so therefore we give you whatever it is, 2 million or $1 million or whatever it is. And then others, it's like, hey, we want to sign you. We want you here. How does 100,000 sound? Which, I mean, again, to an 18-year-old is incredible.
You know what else is a part of this that I want to bring up too? And I feel like this gets underreported on and is an underappreciated aspect of the new dynamic. You not only have to worry about NIL for recruits and portal guys, but you have to maintain your own roster. And you pay out a lot of your NIL money to just keep your own guys from transferring or going to the league and coming back another year. There's word that like even a backup quarterback in Notre Dame could get 250 now. And it's like, why would anybody stick around if they're not the starter? If you're Steve Angeli and you're not the starter and you can make 250, that's a pretty good reason to stick around Notre Dame. Is it not? Like, they're starting to pay up, man. Notre Dame's NIL is not like a problem, or they're not with it or whatever. They're getting with it and being very modern.
Yes. And that's going to be the interesting dynamic, and it's going to be so fluid, is the fact that you have got to every single year as the upper management decide, how do you want to divvy up this pie? And how are you going to, based upon the players that you have and the players that you need to keep around? And it's not going to be like, well, if you're the backup quarterback, you will always get 250. It's not going to be that, because maybe some of those backup quarterbacks are like, we're good, we'll pay you 100 or less. And so it'll be based again upon the potential of what they could do. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they manage this on a yearly basis. And I think it's going to be ever changing. It's just going to be ever evolving. And it's one of those ones where, as a fan base, you just got to kind of accept it and get used to it. I remember when, who was it? Oh, LeBron James came out of high school, right? And he signed a $90 million contract with Reebok, I believe, before he ever even stepped foot on the court of an NBA.
LeBron James.
And, right. So you start thinking about that was kind of like the big switch, was where back in the day, 20 some odd years ago, they started paying a lot more through endorsements, as well as now contracts through NIL and college, as we're seeing in today's world, for what is going to be the potential. Because, I mean, what if he was a bust? He still would have made 90 million, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these contracts nowadays, in all sports, it is astronomically out of whack. And it just was a matter of time before it trickled down to the college, because of how much money is made.
And then I wonder, here's the other thing on the radar that's coming is I understand they're about to figure out the settlement where all the teams have to pay out like $20 million to their athletes for the legal settlement or with that court case or whatever. And I wonder what that does. So then everybody's going to get a decent chunk of money. And then the NIL guys on top of that, like, that's going to change the dynamic too, when you're going to have to pay every scholarship guy a certain base amount. Like, it's just a modern world. and you have no choice but to adapt the way you think about the sport. I mean, I guess you have another choice, which is to say, I'm not interested in this anymore. It doesn't feel like college football when I grew up or my dad grew up. But if you want to stick with this, you have no choice but to adjust. And if you think it's wild and the money's wild and all this stuff, fine, but you either got to adjust or get left in the dust. And it feels like Notre Dame's adjusting with the times, and they're actually trying to get ahead of where a lot of this is going.
Yes, totally agree. And another example of that, which would be not in terms of NIL, but in terms of the portal, is look at Dabo Swinney. Was very much against it, did not want to do it, wanted to have his homegrown guys, wanted to go old school, recruit, build them up within his program, which is, for me, I'm all about it. Great. But he knew coming into it, he's like, it's not gonna work anymore.
Yeah.
And he had to bite the bullet, and he had to start going into the portal because the game is just catapulting astronomically fast. And it's moving to a whole different stratosphere that we didn't even knew existed for the most part. Yeah. And we're just venturing into it. And now as we're figuring this out, we're starting to understand it a little bit more. And again, each program is going to have to adjust accordingly.
Yeah. It's, you know what, the Dabo reluctance to do the portal thing for so long, you know why that surprises me, man? Dabo runs a pretty tight ship. Like Dabo usually has a pretty good culture and the way he runs things or whatever. Didn't he trust himself with the guys he would bring into his program to make it better? Like, it just felt like he was hamstringing himself for no reason, because I trust Dabo to bring the right type of guys into the program. So I was just a little surprised that he went that hard against it. And so I don't know, man. Let me transition a little bit. How much do you think we're going to learn from the blue and gold game? Is this just like a glorified red jersey, throw it around, let the clock run, get out of here with no more injuries? Would it be a mistake, in your opinion, for people to go to that game and expect to get a bunch of answers when they leave? What do you think?
No, I think it's exactly what you were saying, which is this is going to be more for us just to see football and maybe get a couple answers here or there, but it is not going to be for anything where it's going to be definitive answers that we are going to now say, oh, come August, this is exactly what it's going to be. There's too many injuries. There's too many battles going on, whether, it's through the offensive line and adjusting people from guard to tackle to, who knows where. At the same time, we obviously all know about the quarterback battle, and that's not going to be like, hey, guess what? April 13th, now we know.
Yeah.
The day after, it's going to be so-and-so. So for me, again, it's almost in the same realm as the recruits, as far as, okay, cool, we're committed. We know that we're going to watch this game. We know that we're going to pick it apart a little bit, but at the same time, we'll just wait and see what happens when day one comes on the field. And so that's where I'm excited to see it. I'm more, actually, to be honest with you, I'm more excited for you and the crew to get out there again in front of the statue, tailgate it out, have the night before, and then have the live show afterwards. I'm more excited about that than trying to find out anything that's going to be.
Well, I appreciate that.
Answers for the game.
On behalf of the brand, I appreciate your encouragement of the events
think
here.
About that.
Yeah, I do. You know what? What I'm kind of thinking is, I think if you get some answers from the quarterback thing that like seem clear, meaning one guy's just unstoppable and completes every pass, no matter makeshift O-line or walk-on wide receivers, and they're just like really, really outshining everybody else, and it's obvious. That would be cool. I don't know if you're going to get that in this format, but I'm starting to think what I'm looking for is guys that flash. Younger guys, backup guys, speed guys that hit. Like, I'm looking for anything that flashes, because you're dealing with backups and injury and limitations, and you're not going to be able to tackle everybody to the ground. So then what I'm looking at is tangible traits that pop out there. A younger guy with the burst, like a guy where every time he hits, it echoes through the stadium. Like, I'm going to start looking for I'm going to start looking for a lot of those things because I'm just wondering if that's the most you're going to get is like, ooh, look at the spark from that younger guy that wasn't on the radar. Could he be a factor? Like, I don't know, but I think that's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, and even to play more devil's advocate to that, and I agree with Rodney in the sense that he was saying, we've had this before where there's certain players that do flash or do have a good pop or whatever it is during the game, and then you're thinking, okay, can't wait to see them in August or whenever, and then nothing happens, or vice versa.
Yeah,
you didn't see anything throughout the summer, and then this guy just comes out of nowhere. So, I don't hold too much stock in it. I really don't. I think the one thing that I really hope, I would love it if one of the younger dudes, or anybody really, but even if it wasn't Jelly, just absolutely catapulted forward, and you're like, you have to start this person.
Yeah.
There is no other option. That it is the absolute right thing to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think that's going to happen just based upon the injuries, the format, the way they're going to do it. So what again, I'm just getting more sold. I think as we get, further down the line, I'm getting more and more sold on the fact that I really, really just want it to be one of the younger guys. I want them to change up the philosophy. I want them to go a different route and go with either Minchie or Carr and just build and develop these guys so that we can kind of move forward. But I do know that all these other programs, as I'm looking through, and we talked about this last time, was that they're all going through it. They all have new quarterbacks, or they all have new coordinators or coaches one way or the other. And so, the majority of the playoff teams that were in the 12-team format last year are dealing with the exact same things. And it gives me a little bit more calm to it. It's not like we're, Notre Dame and we're a disaster right now. We don't know what we're doing. This is fantastic. Like, look at the positives. We have 3 quarterbacks that we're looking at to possibly guide and lead this team come August. That is incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do want to say, I completely agree with what you were saying, that you have got to be careful with this decision, because if you do go with Angeli and we sit there and we get blown up or whatever, and one of these other quarterbacks is like already out the door, you have got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And how much is this fan base going to be able to deal with it?
Yep. There's a lot to balance. And the early part of that schedule is tough, and you got to make sure the guy's ready for that. Like, there's a lot to take into account. But it'll be interesting. And some Notre Dame football is better than no Notre Dame football. I am just glad we're all going to be there together and watch some Notre Dame ball. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call from sunny California.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. No, I just really appreciate our calls, and this is therapy for all. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Oh, have a good one, man. Take it easy out there. I lost a 574, made him wait too long. If you want to call back, feel free, and I'll bring you up. Thanks for waiting, 574. Local caller. I wanted to talk to you. Call back if you can. $10 holler from Nikki Dean. Loves to be heard and seen. $10 for the cheese pizzas. I might be getting a little crazy. I might get a little Roni action. I could do a little Roni. I could do a little sausage. But if you're expecting to come to the tailgate and get a mushroom freaking cucumber mushroom shredded fish head eyeball pizza or something, you're out of your mind. Be normal. Just be normal. Cheese, sausage, pepperoni. Nobody needs anything other than that. It's like a second grade pizza party at school. Nobody needs anything else other than that at a pizza. Cheese, roni, sausage. That's all you need, man. People been asking me, oh, do you like, all the time I get asked, do you like mushrooms or whatever, bro? I swear to God, if I eat any sort of mushroom, I better be seeing leprechauns and unicorns in a half hour. That's the only way you're ever going to get me to do that. No way. No way. I'm going to do like I'm going to do like there's always the joke about like when you're in a 9-to-5 office and the morale's low, or like the sales team makes like $2 million in a quarter for the company, and the boss is like, we're really going to celebrate this. And they throw like Little Caesars pizza out there, and it's cold, and everybody goes in the meeting room and everybody gets a piece, and it's like, congratulations, you guys. Oh, man. So Johnny's taste buds never graduated from second grade? I don't think they did. Man. Nobody needs any. Look at this. Troy, God bless you. Look at this. Sausage, mushroom, onion, and green pepper. Come on, John. Everybody knows the rules. You're going to have me? I eat that? I'm not even going to make it in the game. I'm going to be in the leprechaun in the parking lot. Too much going on. Way too much going on. My kid loves those dino nuggets, by the way. Yeah, sardines. I for the life of me, I can't understand. I go to some of these fancy places in Florida to eat. Yeah, it's the Chicago way. Troy, you know what else is the Chicago way? Pisses me off. 559. Oh, 559 up on the line. I'm coming right to you. Here's the thing. It's the Chicago way. You know what else makes me mad about that? You see all these Twitter accounts and stuff, and they're like, a Chicago dog, man. You can't it's against Chicago rules to put ketchup on a hot dog. Bro, you know what I think should be against Chicago's rules? Having 90 ingredients on a hot dog and half the population's morbidly obese. Why can't I just put one squirt of ketchup on a wiener and eat it? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Don't tell me, if you're going to eat a hot dog in the city limits of Illinois, the state limits of Illinois or whatever, you got to have a slice of pickle. You got to have burning fire onions. You got to squeeze a bunch of sauerkraut, whatever that is. I don't even know what it is, and I'm not going to find out either. Why can't you just leave me alone and just let me eat a hot dog with ketchup only? Can I just do that in peace? No one needs all of that stuff. What is a sauerkraut? I don't know. I don't want to know, and I'm not interested. You know what else I've been complaining about for 30 years of my life? Why do I pay full price for burgers and hot dogs when I require none of the ingredients that everybody else pays for? Why can't I pay less for a cheeseburger when it's meat, bread, and cheese than somebody who gets 9 other ingredients they got to pay for and do the labor to make? Why am I paying full amount? Explain it to me. Why am I paying the full amount? It's less work and less ingredients every time I order food because I order it so plain. Why am I paying full price? I want the plain discount. That's what I want. Sauerkraut is the number 3 best. I don't even know what a sauerkraut is, but it just sounds like something I don't like. Can't handle the don't get me started on all this stuff, you guys. But mushrooms, bro, I better be seeing leprechauns flying through the air. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But I'm with you, John. I can't even tell you about the chicken strips in all of Northern Indiana. Oh, man, I love a good chicken strip. A good chicken strip and fries with appropriate breading. I'll order it off the kids' menu all day long. I got a little freaky in Florida. I can do some fish and chips. What is it? Paddock, whatever that fish is. I don't know. It's white and flaky and breading that's good. I don't know. 559 up on the line. What's up, baby?
How's it going, John? I see that you went to Florida for a couple of days. I'm glad that you got a break out of everything. I need to make it real quick and real short and brief.
Hey, yo. It's kind of hard to hear you a little bit.
Oh, give me a minute. Hold on, John. Give me a second. Let me try to get out of here.
Gotcha.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, that's way better. Thank you.
Yeah, you know me. I'm at work, boss. So
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, John, you know, I'm glad that you got out of town. I'm glad you got some sunlight in your life. You need to come to California, my boy. You got to get that California weather. The palm trees, the whole atmosphere, the Chinese food, the Mexican food, the pho. You name it, we got it.
I'm only going out there if we could put together a lowrider and hit some switches, baby.
Oh, man, out here is not what you know, it's who you know, my boy. So we got you on that.
I like that. I think we could record our whole music video, and it'll be me and you cruising down the streets of California, baby.
Oh, man, John, for sure, man. Don't even worry about the lowrider. We just got to make sure it's blue and gold because I'm telling you, we got to stick to the Notre Dame traditional colors. The green should only be for a special occasion and underdog situations. But I get it. Everybody wants to do something different. But I do want to tell you, though, is that I do agree with one of your callers that said that we got to do something different with this quarterback situation. We just got to go with something young and fresh. You know, we just got to. Marcus Freeman, this is his pinnacle moment of his launching his career, of what kind of coach he's going to be moving forward. And, you know, Angeli will stick around, and I'm really excited to see the future. Right now, we're all hip-roaring about what's going to happen and who's going to be. And how long has it been where you had a comfortness knowing that Notre Dame is in good hands with a good coaching staff?
Yeah.
You know?
So do you feel like the program, do you feel like the program is accomplished enough and is in a stable enough place? You can go with the younger guys, deal with some growing pains and just roll with it and start a new trend here. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I really do believe that. This is a great time and a great opportunity to develop one of your young quarterbacks. We have an outstanding defense. I really, really saw that there's not going to be a drop-off on the defense. We have this offensive line and this running back that can carry these guys out, you know, until our quarterback starts going up to his potential.
Yeah, it would be.
This is where Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
There's talk that this defense, they're going to be in zone a lot more. And I know Snead was talking the other day about straight, like more of a downhill attacking against the run, fitting gaps rather than like Goolsby always complained. It seemed like they were catching guys instead of pursuing downhill. It's going to be interesting to see some of those changes. And Goolsby thinks the defense may actually be better than last year because they're going to have more freedom to just play and things could be simplified a little. But definitely going to be in more zone than we were last year. And then more of a downhill attacking run stopping style from the second level of that defense. I'm interested. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, and if you want to make Notre Dame what it is right now and what it's becoming, it just reminds me of the Lou Holtz era, where we were just enjoying every moment of Notre Dame football because we knew we had a good team year in and year out, and that's exactly what's going on at the moment. We get caught up with so much with the on-3 rankings and how they projected. And you know what? Last that I checked, where did Leonard Moore came from? Where did Benjamin Moore came from? You know, like we have a coaching staff that knows how to select their individuals to their philosophy and to their ethics. You know, they believe in a certain way, in a certain type of a player. I don't care about the races. I care about what our coaching staff has. Because this is why you're paying those big bucks. This is why you put your money where your mouth is at, you know? This is why we gave everybody a bonus and an extra something so you could make these evaluations. And who cares about the rankings? I care about signing day. And when we are where we are right now, this is when we just gotta trust our coaching staff until you see something different. We are in a good state right now just to enjoy the moment, and everybody that's gonna be at the blue and gold game, enjoy it. Because it's been a very long time where our football program is where it is. Instead of us stressing about, this quarterback might leave, let them bounce because we have others coming in. You know, we got so much in that chamber. All we're doing is lock and loading. That's all we're doing from here on out.
Yeah, it's man, it's just, I hope we're gaining some momentum here, but it's just felt like a rough off season, and you have these injuries. But especially if this recruiting gets popping a little bit, I think people feel better. But I don't know, man. It's been a weird off season, and it's going to be a weird blue and gold, I think. But I don't know if we're going to get a lot of answers.
Nah, we're not. That's what I'm saying. What's the point of stressing on something that we're not going to find the answer to? You know what I mean? We're going to know in August who's going to be our quarterback, and that's when we can go uproaring, and we can definitely go off the wall until then. But right now, just enjoy the moment, guys. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why not enjoy the beauty of Notre Dame? Why not enjoy the atmosphere at the University of Notre Dame? Why not go and have a good time with people that we met through these spaces, through these channels, through these YouTube stuff? And the one thing I got to say this before I forget to say this to you, John. One of the things that I love about your show and in Goolsby is that you guys are humble enough to let fan base call and give their peace of mind instead of belittling them and some feel like they're retarded. There's some podcasts out there. There's certain shows that are starting to really irk me because instead of showing some respect to the fan base, they want to make it sound like we're doing too much. We do too much because we love Notre Dame. We do too much because we can't be where some of you are at to be at the practices that we all wish we could be at. We all wish we could shake hands with the coaching staff and everything that goes on with the University of Notre Dame. And some of you are privileged to have that. And when you do have that privilege, don't go on your space and on your podcast and make it sound like we're retarded and going nuts over something, because we're passionate about Notre Dame football. And if you don't understand that, then get your ass out of this business. If you can't stand it, we stand on business. And we will always stand on business when it comes down to Notre Dame football.
Yeah, it's man, listen, I'm not complaining. It's a chance to get to campus, see Notre Dame football, and be with my people, man. It's the last thing we got until August, really. So I'm looking forward to it no matter what information we see or get.
And thank you, John, again. Thank you for taking my call. And I'm actually debating on seeing if I'm able to escape from the data center project that we got going on so I can make a last-minute flight. But I really know that I'm not going to be able to. But everybody that's out there, like, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, each and one of you, for being great individuals, reaching out and asking how I'm doing, how my father's doing. Like, I want to tell you, thank you to all of you. Like, every single person that I met here, you guys have kept my insanity, my sobriety going. I'm coming up on 3 years of being sober, and it's one of the things is because of my family. But another thing is because I finally met people that love what I love and love to talk about ball. And it's thanks to people like you, everybody in the Notre Dame community. I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. Enjoy everything that's coming our way. And keep going, guys. Keep going strong. We are the University of Notre Dame.
Oh, man. Thanks very much, man. Get back to work. Have a good day. Thanks for the kind words, man. We love you. Thanks for really appreciate you touching base. 574 is back. We're going to go to you. Yeah, congratulations, Dan, man. And you know what else? I mean this sincerely. Man, there's a handful of people in this circle that have battled some stuff with the substances or whatever else and have reached out over the last few months. Sometimes that's a battle that isn't always obvious. Like, sometimes it's obvious, but sometimes you have no idea who's battling those kind of things. And I appreciate people reaching out to me and say that in some way, what we do here is a distraction or keeps them on track or whatever they need to do. But that's a tough battle. So God bless everybody that's doing that. And then 1 minute later, I'm going to say, come to the tailgate in the morning and have beer for breakfast. So maybe I'm not the best example, but like, I don't know. Tex ND. Today's the 1 year anniversary of my dad's passing. It's definitely tough. You're in my thoughts. In my thoughts. Yeah, light a candle for everybody, man. John, the White Sox are 2-7. So you're right. Football can't come in quick enough. Proud to announce I have not watched 1 minute of White Sox baseball. They don't deserve my viewership. I'm done with them. dead to me until we have new ownership. Can't do it. Can't do it. 574. Good morning, sir.
Hey, John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Sorry I couldn't get to you earlier, and I know people are busy, so I'm glad you called back.
Oh, no, don't worry. I just had to run in and meet with somebody real quick, so I just wanted to catch you before when I'm done.
Yeah, man. So what's on your mind? It's been a while since we talked. Looks like it was mid to late February last time you called. What do you make of spring ball or blue and gold or the recruiting? Like, where's your mind at around this program?
Well, my mind this week was basically staying alive from all the storms and tornadoes that we got here. So,
yeah,
never boring here in the 574.
Yeah.
The map says we're not in Tornado Alley. No, we are.
Man, I'm telling you, you know what's interesting? I got a lot of always Irish people in Northwest Indiana, like not down to South Bend, but more Northeast, like Northwest Indiana. And man, we've been missing a lot of those storms. And then they crossed the board because I'm in the last county east heading into Indiana. And they just seem to nail Northwest Indiana. You guys have been getting rocked.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't hit as hard as Arkansas, and I've got a few friends that are down there. One person, she was she called me Friday, and she jokes to me saying, "I don't know what Arkansas did to deserve this week, but it must have been bad."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a very helpless thing, too. There's not a damn thing you can do if there's a tornado heading your way. You just hope it doesn't hit you. Like, it's a very human, helpless feeling that it always makes me understand there are some things that even us humans with all our technology can't control and manipulate, and it's healthy in a way, albeit very terrifying and scary.
Exactly. But, I mean, when you have your power out for a couple of days, the one thing you can always turn to is just, how's football going? And it's just as I remember it last year, when we don't know what our quarterback's going to be. Well, we knew who he was going to be last year, but we didn't know how good he was going to be.
Yeah.
Now this year, they're all good. We just don't know who.
Yeah, we don't know who. Exactly. And it's like, well, if you have three, do you really have none? Like, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know.
I will say, though, that this game is not going to tell us anything. It's just basically going to give us a sneak peek. Like, I understand, like, some people are saying, like, oh, well, this game is going to definitely tell us who's the front runner. No. This game is all that it's going to do is just give fans a little hope before August hits.
I totally agree. I think we need to temper our expectations on getting these answers. Just take what you can take in. Be glad you're seeing Notre Dame football, and then it's just going to be a little bit of a stressful summer until we rejoin in August because there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of health things that you're waiting to see how they turn out.
Right. And I'll be honest here. I think that what Notre Dame is looking for, especially the offense Mike Denbrock is looking for, is he's looking for two things. And if the guy doesn't have these two things, then he doesn't probably want him starting. And it's somebody who's going to recognize pressure when it's coming or somebody who can scramble out if the line fails to get one guy to block. And if you don't have either of those things, then our quarterback situation this year is not going to be great.
Yeah.
Which, thankfully, we've got very intelligent people right now in the back. One's very mobile, the other two are not, but got heck of an arm. So I'm not too stressed, honestly. The first week, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll actually hit the gas going pretty hard.
Yeah, it's always hard going and playing Miami at their place. However, they got a lot of changes in that program too, and the defense was an issue last year at times. You don't have that quarterback anymore. There's a lot of changes with Miami as well. It's just hard to be there because it's the only game that their fans fill the place for, and they're loud and annoying.
Well, I mean, they're not loud as Kyle Field, but I agree with you. It's so loud, and I'll tell you what. I need this damn curse of Miami to be gone, okay? The fact that we haven't beaten Miami in Hard Rock Cafe in, 40 years? Like, please kill that damn curse, please.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of Miami always bringing that up.
Yeah. It's so I don't know, man. This is going to be it's just going to be a really interesting year, and you could see ways that this comes together beautifully and perfectly and works out. And you could also maybe see some ways where it's rough early for Notre Dame and it messes up the year. I don't know.
I don't know. And then what's great is that we got recruiting this week was doing pretty good. I'm actually seeing a lot more predictions today. One of them made me laugh. You could probably laugh at this too. One of the recruits we have that's being predicted to commit to Notre Dame is he's a wide receiver and his first name is Bubba. And I joked my dad, I was like, have we ever had any player on our team named Bubba before?
I like that. I like that. You throw.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it's funny. It's like usually we get guys first names like John, Steve, or Bill or something like that. Never got a guy named Bubba.
Here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want the guy to be like a fast slot receiver guy, and then they throw him a slip screen and they call it the Bubba Bubble. And the whole play's for him, and it's called the Bubba Bubble, and it's just a bubble screen to Bubba. I like it.
I love it. I love it. And that's the one thing I just love is that you're seeing these players that you would never think that we would ever get, and now we're finally getting them. Like that edge rusher. If you told me 3 years ago, or it's actually 4 years ago, that we would beat Alabama and Georgia for a top edge recruit, even though he hasn't signed yet, but just having him commit over those two would make me jump over the moon.
Yeah. Hey man, it's looking. Here's the problem, man. Everybody was complaining that we don't have a lot of verbal recruits or whatever, and you're not, and why aren't we having momentum or whatever? Then we get one and maybe looking at another one, and now people are like, yeah, but I need more, and they're not going to stick anyways. And what about the interior of the D-line and not just the edges? Like, so you can't win, man. Everybody wanted to commit. Now we got to commit. Like, the bar always moves here. The bar always moves here. If you get Dunham, that's a big, big get if you get Dunham, and then you got Opie Sticks.
We need to keep pressing this message to everybody who keeps bringing up that crap, because I'm actually getting sick and tired of it. Recruiting is only half the game. The other half is the portal. If we don't get those guys, who cares? We can get guys in the portal. Where do you think most of our stud guys came from that took us to the championship game this year? Oh, that's right, the portal. Your quarterback was from the portal. Your top receiver was from the portal. The guy who forced the fumble against Georgia that made a score for the half from the portal. Stop thinking recruiting is all that matters for a good team. It's a good point, yes, but the portal's the other half, and it's just as important.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know. You got a new recruiting operation, a new GM. It's more of a business-minded, analytical NFL approach to recruiting and retention and gaining talent. And I'm really interested to see how it works out. Give it a couple cycles and see. It was a forced reboot when Chad left, and let's see how we adapt. I don't know.
That's the other thing I'm going to pay attention to is the fact we always had this time of year. We were the number one recruiting class, blah, 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 and Chad Bowen, great guy, whatever. And you're seeing that happen right now with USC. What I'm going to pay attention to is how many of those guys decommit later.
Yeah.
That was the problem Chad had with us.
Yep.
They always didn't belong.
Yep. It's
and I think that was something that probably Freeman wanted to fix. He said, if we have guys that commit, we want them to stay.
Yeah.
He never saw any recruit come up to the defensive line coach during practice, hand him a letter saying, I'm committing to Notre Dame.
Yeah, it is the number one thing they got to prevent moving forward is how do you insulate the program from just getting poached at the top end? It's a big problem, and one of the number one priorities this new regime's got to fix. You got to find a way to correct it, change the timing, go after different people when they are allowed to commit. Like, I don't know what you got to do. That's not my world, but you got to figure out how to try and minimize the odds of that happening again.
Yeah, and that's why I've been saying, like, if we get a general manager that doesn't get, the load up early, but we get them later, maybe even through the season, and you see big recruits like this guy who commits now, if he stays, that's already doing better than what we had last year.
Yeah, it's a big deal and a big priority. And I'm excited because Notre Dame's got a chance to kind of reboot the recruiting operation. And it's one area where I don't feel like Freeman's met their potential yet. The on the field stuff seems to be developing pretty well. Look how far we got last year. But there's room to grow on that recruiting.
But look where all these players are also coming from, too. They're still from Texas, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. We're still getting these blue chip recruits in the South, and that's what I love to see. I do like the New Jersey, California players, don't get me wrong, but those real blue chips come from the South.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. I'm excited. The bigger picture on all of this is, if you zoom out, the bigger picture is the Freeman era isn't new anymore, right? Like, we're getting into the middle part of it now. It's going to be year 4. And like, it's time for us to recalibrate after that initial Freeman newness. How is the program going to recalibrate, stay modern, get ahead of everything? Like, it's going to be an exciting period that we're moving into now.
I honestly think that we have the perfect staff right now to stay modern. I don't think we're going to fall behind, at least not for a while. The way the program stepped up just in the first 2 years to where we were last year is mighty impressive.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't want to hear, the comparisons with coaches for starting their third year. Any coach minus Leahy and Holtz, if any of those coaches had to deal with what Freeman did this year and win 3 playoff games, I don't think any one of them could have done that.
Yeah, it's
certainly not Kelly.
Well, for sure not Kelly. But I think that is one area where Freeman is impressed me, is the on the field thing. He grew a lot, especially in year 3, and he seemed to be able to do something we begged Kelly to be able to do forever, and he couldn't ever put it together, which was, how do you get the most out of what you have? How do you get what you have as a group to play their best in the biggest moments? And he did that for a lot of the year and kind of maxed out that banged up roster. Really good job. Now we got to see if we can put it all together again.
More importantly, he also made sure to not lose one single player before the playoffs started to the portal. That was also big as well.
Yeah, that tells you a lot about the buy-in. Yeah.
And all those guys stuck with it. And in that if that stays true for the next few years, sign me up. Because that means there just won't be any stress later down the road.
Yeah, it's, man, I don't know. I'm excited. This is all changing, man. And we're getting into the meat of the Freeman era here. The newness is wearing off. Expectations are high. And I'm excited to see where it goes. But there are some really important key decisions that have to be made here coming up. And it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. So what's the deal, man? You're local. You coming to the tailgate in the game or what? That's a no.
My wife told me
no.
a week ago that we had a wedding that we have to go to.
My wife. Yeah, that's there's not much you can do about it, because you can't even use the no weddings in the fall thing, because it's not a wedding in the fall, but it is the Masters and Blue and Gold. That's a double hit.
This makes me so happy that I have a smartphone in today's age, because if this happened 20, 30 years ago, if I were still alive and I had to find a TV to look at these kind of things, oh, it'd be rough.
Yeah, it's man, it is I don't know, man. It's tough. That's tough for sure. So you got to do what you got to do, though. It is the off season, so I don't know what to tell you. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for touching base. Been a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, like I said, I'm glad everybody's excited for the fall and the spring game. It's nice and all. But like I said, this game's not going to tell you everything. It's just basically eye candy to look forward to. And I mean, I trust this staff to make the right decision. They did well last year. Why distrust them now? That's all I'm gonna say.
What I try and remind myself is, they have way more information and data than we do. They have way, way more. And you got to just trust that they know what they're looking for and what they're seeing, and that they have more information than we got. Hey, man, thanks for touching base. Have fun at that wedding. Think of us in the tailgate lot having fun, okay?
Will do. Thank you, John.
Have a good one. Thanks for calling on a Monday, lively Monday. Jay says, the brothers like you, bro, John, because you don't front, man. I appreciate that. I'll take whatever I can get on the fan base front. I really do appreciate it. Look at this. Dodger. Getting a verbal's better than not getting anything. Sid Irish. So naive, Roger. And then Mark, wrong, Dodger. So, like, that's the thing, though, man. Everybody was anxious because we had this dry spell of verbal commits. Then you get one, and it's like, well, they're not going to stick anyway. So what good is this? It's just, you can't win here. You can't win here. The complaint all last week is, look at this dry spell. When are we going to get another verbal or whatever? Then you got one, and now it's like, well, he's not going to stay anyway. So who can't? What good is it? Bro, you just can't win sometimes. Look at this. Can we have a dance battle against other ND show fans? Listen, I may not be able to break down film and go over every little technical thing of what's going on in the field, but I guarantee you in this media niche, ain't nobody beating me in a dance-off. I can promise you that. If you want to break down film, you could beat me, but on a dance-off, check yourself, man. No way. No way. Tex ND. Your mom is very nice, Johnny, as is the whole family. What a compliment. The whole family helps out doing all the tailgate stuff, man. My brother's usually doing technical stuff, recording footage, whatever. Mom and dad getting everything going, man. I'm very blessed in that regard. And everybody's gotten to know them, and they're a part of the crew, man. They're a part of the crew. Tornado chasers are crazy. Here's the thing. I've been thinking about this. The tornado chasing thing, I think, is kind of awesome if it's not in your town. Like, if I see there's a bunch of storms somewhere and I drive there and I have the technology to see where it's going and whatever, and it isn't my house and my school and my office getting ruined, it's pretty cool. Think about what I'm telling you. If you're into all that and you're driving around checking it out, if it's not your hometown, it sucks, but it isn't your house getting blown away. It would be exciting. I wouldn't want to do it where I live because it's all your people getting destroyed. Dan says verbal commitments need to go away. Sign a contract once a player commits. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. To think about that and eliminate that old window. Man, that would be, really think through that exercise. No verbal commitment. So if you do commit, you either need to sign or not make a verbal anywhere until signing day, and everybody figures out who they get then. 80s guy, $10 hour. John, I've seen a lot of people saying that Jelly should start over Carr because he has more experience. We're going to never know what we have until you throw CJ out there. The other thing I push back on is, I will continue to push back on this. Angeli's been around a long time, but I don't consider what he has a ton of experience. Experience around the major college football game, yes. Playing experience, not really. Backup, mop-up duty when the game is over and already decided doesn't move the needle for me because there's just no pressure. That doesn't move the needle to me. You're playing with backups, against backups. The game is over. The energy's gone. The stress is gone. That doesn't do much for me. Very impressive what he did against Penn State, driving Notre Dame down the field to get in position to get on the board before the half. That's a big deal. That was really awesome. And then the game against the Beavs when he started, when everybody at Oregon State transferred out, including all the staff, that doesn't do much for me. So, with the experience, kind of yes, but I could argue kind of no at the same time in different ways. Personally, I just feel like I'll have more excitement if it's one of the two younger guys because I just see a higher athletic ceiling of where this could all be and where this could all go. Does that come with risk? Yes. It does come with risk. You throw one of those young guys out there, things don't go well against Miami. Does that spiral? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But for me, my excitement level is just going to be way higher with the younger guy with a higher physical upside. That would excite me because I just feel like I have a pretty good idea what Angeli is and is going to be. And I think it's like a 10-game winning serviceable quarterback. I'm not trying to be greedy, but I need a little more than that. What about the other 2 games? where you maybe need an athlete to manufacture something to get that 11th and 12th win. I don't know. And I'm not trying to crap on Steve. I just objectively think he has a lower physical athletic ceiling than the two younger guys. Where does that leave you to run a guy out there against Miami? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. All right, folks. That's going to be it for the day. That's going to be it for the show. Really lively, energetic Monday morning, man. This is the most the chat's been popping in a long, long time. So it's really, really good to see that energy building as we get through the rest of the week and get into Blue and Gold weekend. And so it's just, man, it gives me energy to see the energy coming through on the chat. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the chats. All of it, man. Really appreciate you guys. And we'll talk to you. I'll have a video for you tomorrow, and then we'll talk to you on Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Good start to the week.